Hi, I'm Gary Woobers with Ascend Business Strategies, trainer, coach, and speaker. Using extended DISC assessment as your communication tool? Why use an assessment to help us communicate in the workplace? The challenges businesses have is that all employees are different in their backgrounds and beliefs, which creates barriers in the workplace. When we start to understand how to interact with each other from the other person's perspective, we increase communication, which in turn increases productivity, meaning our bottom line improves. Last week, I shared an experience that happened early in my career in which I thought everyone should be like me. Well, that's not such a bad thing, is it? While that's what I thought, I found why everyone does not think the same as me, because their background, their beliefs are different than mine. Now, after many years of struggling to get them to see my way, I was introduced to the extended DISC system through a business coach I was using. The coach had me and my leadership team take the extended DISC assessment. As we implemented the concept, I studied the information. I realized my employees were not the problem, it was me. I needed to change my communication style to be a more effective leader and communicator. I will be the first to admit it has not been very easy over the last 15 years, but when you're the leader, you've got to make the necessary changes to begin to see how you can improve your communication, because it makes such an significant positive impact in the overall productivity of your organization. Now, extended DISC identifies the main behavioral styles and their identifying attributes in an effort to make workplace interaction effective and help leaders manage and motivate their team. The model observes and analyzes behaviors. It does not analyze an individual's personality, nor does it classify anyone as good or bad. The extended DISC identifies 160 different conscious and unconscious behaviors through the simple process of answering 25 focused questions. The uniqueness of this assessment is that by identifying the conscious and unconscious behaviors of an individual coupled with their culture and heritage, we can get a very well-rounded picture of them and what is the positive way to help them as a team member. The assessment takes into account your attitude, values, skills, knowledge, experience, expectations, mental condition, and physical condition. This is where our conscious behavior, how we perceive things, or our need to adjust in situation becomes the culture of an organization. Our unconscious behavior is where we put very little thought or energy, and often is not even recognized by those around us day-to-day activities. Now let's look at the extended DISC results. They're broken down into 4 quadrants of D, I, S, and C. Now the D style, that's what they call a driver or dominance. This type of style is aggressive, competitive, demanding, in a hurry, interrupts, is direct, and challenges you. They're a starter, but they're not a finisher. They're a black or white, but no gray areas. Wants to be always in control. Exceeds authority, gets bored easily, and doesn't listen very well. They're decisive, they're tough, they're strong-willed, they're independent, and they're kind of self-centered. When under pressure, that shows that they have a lack of concern. And you know what their greatest fear is? Loss of control. Now, if you haven't figured out yet, this is my style. That's why I know it so well. I am a D. Now you understand why I had to change my communication style and not my team. Now let's look at the other 3 styles. The I style is what we call an influencer. They're very talkative. They're social. They're impulsive. They're communicative. They're very excited. They agree with you. They like their small personal space. They promise more than they can deliver. They're always selling, but they do avoid details. They don't like being boring. They're strict people. They forget rules. They make small talk. They make mistakes, but they are great with people. They're sociable. They're talkative. They're always the life of the party. They're enthusiastic. They're energetic. They're persuasive. When under pressure, they seem disorganized. Now, their greatest fear is social rejection because, of course, they like people. Let's look at the S style, kind of the steadiness. These folks are thorough, steady, systematic, polite. They're very modest. They're secure and stable environment, and they like to proceed carefully. So when you have a new project come up, it has to go slow. They're down to earth. They stay in the background. They listen more than talk. They need lots of instruction. They restrict sudden changes, and they have strong principle. They like and dislike people. They're team-oriented. They're reliable. They're calm. They're steady. They're careful. They're patient. They're very family-oriented. They're good listeners. They're modest. They're trustworthy. Now, when they're under pressure, they're too willing to please. Now, their greatest fear is loss of stability. Let's look at our last style. It's the C style, compliance. Now, this person is very exact. They're perfectionists. They're logical. They're analytical. They're afraid of being wrong. They obey the rules and the laws. They look for order. They're kind of the silent matter of fact. Doesn't inspire, but they are very, very detail-oriented, rule-oriented. They avoid risks, though, but they're diplomatically polite. They're precise, careful, and formal, disciplined. When under pressure, they're overly critical. Their greatest fear is criticism of work. You see a lot of doctors in this area. Now remember, none of the behavior styles are better or worse than any other. Extended DISC allows us to describe a person's nature, natural reaction mode, and what their behavior style in different situations. It measures natural behavior styles, but keep in mind, a person always has the ability to adapt and develop from one area to another and move in a new direction. Now next week, I'm going to interview my associate, Rod Long, on how extended DISC system can be implemented into the workplace, bringing better communication and developing better communication within your team by leading and creating high-performance teams. This creates a dynamic, allowing you to use the strength of each member of the team. Remember, if you are looking for a training program to improve your communication with your team in the workplace, go to goascend.biz. That's goascend.biz. And under the contact page, fill out the information and we will call you and set up a meeting to discuss with your team. Now, my challenge to you is give of yourself, love openly, make a difference every day. Make it a great day. See you next week.